And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be doing the level 65 Red Mage quest. And as always, hello from Mithrie. So we are here in Idleshire at 6.5, and we need to talk to Tia. The 65 quest is called Night Kin. So Tia has a particular book he wishes to track down. So greetings, Mithrie. Arya and I have begun wading through a sea of ancient text, but we've yet to fish out any promising cures to her condition. I did, however, recall something which may help narrow down our search. Long ago, Lambard had one particular book which he would read with uncommon intensity. I've forgotten the title now, but I do remember that inside were scrawled the memoirs of a deranged killer who was executed as a heretic in Ishgard. This criminal is said to have committed a number of ritualistic murders, all carried out with a most peculiar form of thaumaturgy. I merely thought it a vulgar choice of reading material at the time, but now I wonder if that peculiar form is thaumaturgy was what kept Lambard glued to its pages. It sounds positively awful, and yet it might just give us the clues we've been missing. I'll see if I can't track down those memoirs down. I understand it's quite a rare volume, and when it comes to hunting down elusive treasures, it may be worth consulting a professional treasure hunter. Mithrie, are you acquainted with Midnight Dew? Why don't you take Arya and pay her a visit? So I will try my hand at a different route. It's a long shot, but Rowena is known to stock a truly eclectic range of wares. Okay, so let's go. It's right there. Let's do it. Okay, here is Midnight Dew. So, it's you. Something you need. A heretic's memoirs for the young lady here. A bit of an odd request, but who am I to judge? So, so you're working with Tia then. I thought you wanted it for some of tasteless personal collection. Let me think now. Ishgardian heretic, ritualistic killings. Oh hells, it couldn't be. One of my fellow salvagers was telling tales of a treasure he spied in the Great Gubble Library. A rare book called Night Kin. Claims he glimpsed the title as he was running for his life through Rhapsody's quadrangle. 'Tis a sought-after tome for collectors of the Macabre, I can't pronounce that word, said to be written by an Ishgardian murderer who believed himself some manner of demon, half a diary, half a grimoire, and choke full of bloody lunacy. Well, it certainly fits the description. We should head back to Rowena's and share the news with Tia. Thank you for your help, Midnight. Okay, so let's find Tia. So, yes, Nightkin, that was the title. Written by a killer who thought himself born of fiends. Such a belief would certainly brand him a crazed heretic in Ishgard, but I suspect the truth is he was much like Lambard, a mage who delved too deeply in forbidden arts. And you say the book was seen in the Great Gubble Library. I've not entered the place since the Charlians departed this land. What of you, Mithrie? Like the back of your hand, eh? Well then, I vote for you to be our guide. I hadn't known the library's guardians had turned hostile. I am sorry, Arya, but you will have to remain behind. No sense putting you in a situation where you might be forced to fling spells. Oh, I would have liked to have seen those fabled shells, but you're right, of course. Come, Mithrie, let us hurry through the hinterlands. Here some intrepid scavengers make way with our prize. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we've arrived. So now let's talk to Tia. So we have a fight ahead of us. So right, let's not dawdle once we're inside. We make straight for Rhapsody's quadrangle and leave as soon as we've acquired the tome. From what I remember, the book Lambard would read was of a fair thickness and bound in leather covers. Hopefully it will not be too difficult to find. So duty calls commence battle for Nightkin. If your level is above 67, it will be synced. Okay. Let's go. Cool. Okay, next. I still need to learn the rotation for Red Mage. Okay, cool. Next. Next. Obtain the Nightkin. The dutiful knight. What we're looking for. Okay, it's not that one. Arcane killer. Nope. 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 Okay, maybe he's got it. Okay, done. Boink. There it is, there's the Nightkin. I am the descendant of demons, a scion of tainted blood. It is for my brethren born into darkness, for the Nightkin, that I pen these words. The holy men will insist my teaching are madness, the ravings of a deranged killer, but you shall learn that all I scribe henceforth is eldritch truth, and their fate the twisted lie. Cool, we found it. There can be no mistake. Nice. We needn't tarry in this place. Okay. Done. Okay, so you did well in there, Mithrie. I've never known acquiring a book from a library to be such a strenuous endeavour. May I see the tome? Okay, let's give over the Nightkin. It says, Memoirs of a Twisted Killer, filled with musings of the nature of the void-sent tainted mortals and instructions for the macabre rituals. Or macabre rituals, I don't know that word. So, yes, the author does certainly seem convinced of his demonic heritage. I can see how the clergy of the time would have passed these writings off as a heretic's delusion, but the spellcraft contained within is aught but incoherent rambling. Within his memoirs, this mage has provided specific instructions on the workings of forbidden sorcery. Little wonder that the Lambert spent so much of his time studying the tome's secrets. But there is more, much more. Let's return to Idleshire. Arya needs to hear this. Cool. So let's go back to Idleshire. I do like that the battles are challenging. Like, you can't just go through them by pressing 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? You do actually have to pay attention. Okay, so let's talk to Tia now. So, I finished logging through the last pages of Nightkin. There were truths I discovered which made it difficult to continue, but amongst the mounting sense of horror I found hope. Thus I bid you listen until the end of my tale. I shall begin with the author himself. And so this man who wrote the Nightkin was not merely some disturbed killer, but a mage who had mastered the arts of the ancients. Exactly so. A century ago in Ishgard, this monster in mortal guise devoured all manner of forgotten texts, teaching himself everything from red magic to machi summoning rituals. The secret to his seemingly inexhaustible power lies in his bloodline. He was directly descended from a machi archmagus, who had ingested the lifeblood of the void-sent queen Lilith. In fact, it was with this very archmage, or magus, that the vile practice of infusing oneself with void-sent blood first began. I believe I told you how the Red Mages later outlawed these rituals, but the damage had already been done. Lilith's insidious energies had been passed on to the Archmagus' heirs. This clan of Aether drinking spellcasters became known as those who were born into darkness, the Night Kin. The revelation which truly shook me, however, has yet to come. I discovered that Lambert was a scion of the Nightkin clan, and quite likely so are you, Arya. So the book's author was of the Callowise family, a surname shared by Lambert. With no small amount of trepidation, I determined to look once more into your family's records, and learned that Callowise name was also prevalent on your mother's side. This can be no coincidence. Are you saying that void-sent blood runs in my veins? It explains your preternaturally strong affinity for black magics. When I remember that Lambert was of a similar arcane disposition, the connection is even more obvious. Had he no need to ingest fiendish blood, he simply awoke the corruption which had always lurked within him. The rituals for doing so were clearly described in the pages of the Nightkin. Were these rituals performed upon me too? Again, it is doubtful considering their complex requirements. My theory is that your latent talents were stirred into wakefulness quite by accident through your induction into the ranks of the Red. I wonder, however, why the same awakening that took years in Lambard occurred so swiftly in you. An innate affinity, mayhap. Whatever the case, that this unstable condition was triggered by your desire for control certainly explains Lambard's parting barb about the injustice of your fate. But all is not lost. There is a way to undo the curse of your lineage. The first Calawise drew Lilith into our physical world by providing a mortal host for her soul to possess. He stood unflinching before the fiendish queen he had summoned, and forged with her a bargain of blood and darkness. Once the Archmagus had partaken of her essence, however, he entrapped her inside a heavily glyphed box. Her material form thus captured, Lilith was unable to return to her shadowy realm. It was written that her imprisonment on this plane of existence was a necessary act, lest the potency of her blood begin to wane. Do you understand what this means, Arya? I think so. The corruption inside me will last only as long as the Void-Sent Queen remains in our world. Oh, I see. So we need to find the box and banish Lilith back into the Void. Exactly right. Defeat the Void-Sent and the curse upon your blood is lifted. Of course, a creature of Lilith's stature would ordinarily present a near insurmountable challenge. We are fortunate then that the summoner bound her essence to a feeble vessel to prevent her from manifesting her full power. Even we few should stand a chance against this lesser incarnation. Now, it appears that the author succeeded in tracking down Lilith's prison, and through the book makes no mention of the event. It is entirely possible that the book passed into his possession. Our surest bet will be to follow in his footsteps. Rest and prepare, my friends. We have an exciting adventure ahead of us. Cool. So that's the 65 Red Mage quest. So the next quest, level 68, will be from here. So anyway, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me and goodbye from Mithrie. Bye, guys.